English with EduWorld.
Learn English. Connect with world.
Kenny, I was thinking this morning, why do we actually do this? Why do we spend hours, months, and years learning English?
That's a deep one, Anna. Most people say it's for a better job or to pass a test, but I think it's much more than just a line on a resume.
I agree. To me, English feels like a giant key. You know that feeling when you're at an airport and you hear voices from 10 different countries, but you can understand all of them?
Exactly. It's about connection. Without English, the world feels like a collection of closed doors. But with it, you can walk into almost any room on Earth and say, "Hello, I'm here."
And it changes how you see yourself, too. When you speak a new language, you discover a new version of you, a braver version.
It's true. You're not just learning words, you're expanding your soul. You're learning to think in new ways and see the world through different eyes.
So, whether you are here for your career, your travels, or just to prove to yourself that you can do it, you are in the right place.
Welcome to English with EduWorld. Learn English, connect with world. Let's talk about your why. Why are you on this journey today?
Imagine you wake up in a cold, silent room. You are handed a phone. On the other side is the opportunity of a lifetime, a chance to change your family's future forever. You pick up the phone. Your heart is pounding against your ribs like a trapped bird. You open your mouth to speak, but nothing comes out. The words are stuck. The silence is deafening. You listen to the dial tone as the chance slips away, all because your English failed you in the one moment that truly mattered.
That is the ghost that haunts every language learner. It is not about grammar. It is about the doors that stay locked when you do not have the key. Today, we're giving you that key. We're going to reveal the psychological bridge between who you are now and the version of you that speaks with total, unshakable power. You cannot afford to turn this off because the ending of today's journey holds a secret that will change how you see yourself forever. Welcome to English with EduWorld.
We are so glad you are here with us. If you want to master your future and never miss an opportunity again, please hit the subscribe button right now. Your support gives us the motivation to keep creating these deep, life-changing lessons for you.
Now, before we move deeper into the solution, I have a question for you to reflect on. Be honest with yourself and type your answer in the comments.
What scares you more? A, making an embarrassing grammar mistake in front of others. B, staying exactly where you are for the next 10 years because you were too afraid to speak.
Type A or B below. Let's see what is truly holding you back. That choice you just made between A and B leads us directly into the heart of the storm, because the truth is most people are not failing at English. They are failing at purpose.
It is heartbreaking, Kenny. I see so many brilliant minds, doctors, engineers, and dreamers who treat English like a dry, dusty textbook. They spend years memorizing lists of irregular verbs, yet they feel completely empty inside. They have no emotional connection to the sounds coming out of their mouths. This disconnect is the silent killer of fluency. If you do not feel the weight of your words, how do you expect the world to feel them?
Exactly. We focus so much on the how that we completely forget the why. But today, we are offering a paradigm shift. We're moving away from the classroom and into the soul. The solution isn't another grammar app. It is the radical alignment of your language with your identity. We're going to show you how to anchor every sentence you learn to a specific burning desire, whether that is the freedom of a solo trip across Europe or the pride of leading a global team.
When you stop studying a subject and start living a language, the frustration begins to melt away. We are here to help you find that spark again, to turn your struggle into a strategy and your fear into a bridge toward a much larger world.
Once you realize that English is a bridge to your soul rather than just a subject in school, you begin to understand that we are not just voices in your ears, but partners on your path to greatness.
That is why we are here, sharing this space with you today. I am Anna, and my entire life has been dedicated to witnessing the transformation that happens when a person finally breaks the chains of a silent tongue. I have sat with students who cried tears of joy because they finally felt seen in a foreign land. And I am joined by Kenny, a man who has navigated the high-stakes world of global business and knows that a single conversation can change the entire trajectory of a career. We are English with EduWorld, and our mission is to ensure you never have to stand on the sidelines of your own life again.
But this journey is not a monologue. It is a pact between us and you. We need to feel your energy right now to keep this momentum moving forward. Close your eyes for a split second and visualize the exact person you want to become once this language barrier is gone. Do you see them? Now, I want you to take that vision and anchor it. If you're watching this, leave a comment below and tell us one specific country you will visit or one specific job title you will claim when you master this language.
Your engagement is the heartbeat of this channel. Every like, every comment, and every person who joins our community gives us the fuel to dig deeper and bring you the most powerful tools for your transformation. We are in this together, and your voice is the most important part of the story we are writing today.
As your dreams begin to take shape through the words you share with us, we invite you to step fully into the sanctuary of our vision. This is English with EduWorld. Here, we do not just teach a language, we build the confidence that defines your global legacy.
With that vision of your global legacy firmly in your mind, we must now descend into the practical trenches where that legacy is actually built, brick by painful brick.
You know, Kenny, it's one thing to dream about success, but it's another thing entirely to face the cold reality of a boardroom or a busy international airport when your mind suddenly goes blank. I remember a student of mine, a brilliant architect named Sophia. She had spent years studying grammar rules in a quiet room, but the first time she had to present her designs to an American firm, she felt like a terrified child. She told me later that she could see the curiosity in their eyes turning into impatience. That is the true pain we talk about, the gap between your inner intelligence and your outer expression. It's not just about a grade, it's about the frustration of being a giant trapped in a silent body.
I've been that giant, Anna. I remember sitting in a high-stakes negotiation in Chicago. I had all the data, all the strategy, but because I was so worried about using the perfect tense or avoiding an accent, I waited too long to speak. By the time I found the right words, the conversation had moved on. The opportunity was dead. I felt small. I felt like an imposter. I realized then that I wasn't failing because I didn't know English. I was failing because I was trying to perform English rather than use it as a tool. We have to kill the perfectionist inside us before we can let the communicator breathe.
That is the most profound shift a learner can make. To fix this, we have to look at how we actually structure our journey. Think about the present perfect tense, the one so many people struggle with. We often view it as a scary math formula, but in reality, it was the tense of your life's resume. When you say, I have worked in this field for 10 years, you're not just reciting grammar, you are claiming your authority. You are connecting everything you've done in the past to the person standing here right now.
And then you bridge that with the present simple to define your current reality. I lead people, I solve problems, I create value. Do you see the power in that? It's simple, it's direct, and it's unshakable. When I was in Chicago, if I had just used those simple, strong structures instead of trying to sound like a Shakespearean poet, I would have won that room. Simple English is not low-level English. It is high-impact English. It is the language of leadership.
Let's stop right here and do something brave. I want you, the person listening to my voice, to take a deep breath. Stop being a passive listener and become an active creator. Think about your own professional or personal journey. I want you to say this sentence out loud right where you are. I have been learning English for, and then state your time. Now follow it up with your current purpose. I use my voice to, and tell the world what you do.
If you just did that, you just broke the silence. You just moved from the pain of the silent giant into the power of the active speaker. But we have to talk about why this is so hard to maintain. The world is noisy. You have jobs, families, and endless distractions. Many of you tell us, I just don't have the time to sit down for 2 hours with a textbook.
And you shouldn't. Textbooks are like museums. They're nice to visit, but you don't want to live there. Real fluency happens in the dead time of your life. I always tell my students about the 10-minute deep dive. Most people try to watch an entire 2-hour movie in English and get overwhelmed by the slang and the speed. Instead, take 60 seconds of a scene, just 1 minute. Watch it once to understand the heart of it. Watch it again with English subtitles to see the skeleton of the sentences. Then watch it a third time with no subtitles and try to feel the emotion in the actors' voices. You are training your brain to recognize the music of English, not just the lyrics.
That's the English fitness model. I use it every single day. When I'm making my morning coffee, I don't check social media. I listen to one short news clip or a podcast like this one. It's my morning ritual, just like brushing my teeth. If I don't do it, my day feels incomplete. I'm not studying, I'm nourishing my brain. We have to stop seeing English as a mountain we have to climb and start seeing it as the air we breathe.
And what about the fear of the fast talkers? We hear this all the time. Kenny, I can understand you, but I can't understand people on Netflix or people in a real New York coffee shop. That's because real English is messy. It's full of gonna, wanna, and words that blend together like a river. In textbooks, words are like separate stones. In real life, they are the water flowing over the stones. To master this, you have to embrace the messiness. You have to stop trying to catch every single word and start catching the vibe of the sentence.
It's like listening to a song. You don't need to know every instrument playing in the background to enjoy the melody. If you catch the verbs and the nouns, you have the map. The rest is just scenery. I used to get so frustrated when I didn't understand a joke in English. I felt like an outsider. But then I realized even native speakers miss things sometimes. The goal isn't 100% comprehension. The goal is 100% connection.
Connection is the key. Think about how you handle your mistakes. When you say he go instead of he goes, your brain often screams, fail, stop talking. But does the other person care? No. They care about your idea. They care about your heart. Every time you make a mistake and keep going, you are building a fluency muscle. Every time you stop because of a mistake, you are letting that muscle atrophy.
I want to give everyone a very specific habit to start tomorrow. I call it the mirror monologue. Every morning, look at yourself in the mirror and spend exactly 2 minutes talking to yourself in English. Tell yourself what you have to do today. I have a meeting at 10. I need to finish that report. I am going to have lunch with a friend. It sounds silly, but you are teaching your vocal cords and your brain to work together without the pressure of an audience. You are creating a safe space for your own voice.
And remember, the environment you create for yourself matters. If your phone is in your native language, change it to English right now. If your GPS is in your native language, change it. Surround yourself with the sounds and sights of your goal. You have to immerse your subconscious mind. We're not just learning a language, we're rewiring our brains for a new reality.
This is the solution. It's not a magic pill. It's a series of small, intentional, and deeply emotional choices. It's choosing the 10-minute podcast over the 10-minute scroll on TikTok. It's choosing to speak poorly today so you can speak powerfully tomorrow. It's about recognizing that the pain of learning is actually the growing pains of a bigger version of you.
So let's look at where we are. We've identified the silence that holds us back. We've looked at the tools like the present perfect to claim our past and the present simple to define our present. We've built a strategy for dead time and English fitness. Now, the question is, are you willing to be imperfect to become influential?
Because if you aren't willing to fail, you aren't willing to grow.
And if you aren't willing to grow, you are choosing to stay in that cold, silent room we talked about at the beginning. But I know you're not that person. You're here, you're listening, you're doing the work.
You are already further ahead than you were 20 minutes ago. You have already claimed your why. Now, let's talk about what happens if you don't take these steps, and more importantly, the incredible world that opens up when you do.
Understanding the strategy is only half the battle, because without the fire of urgency, even the best tools will eventually gather dust on the shelf of forgotten dreams.
We have to be brutally honest with ourselves for a moment, even if it hurts. What happens if you do nothing? What happens if you let another year, another 5 years, or even a decade slide by while you stay in this comfortable cage of someday? The cost of inaction is not just a missed promotion or a clumsy conversation at an airport. The real cost is the slow erosion of your potential. It is the quiet, heavy sadness of sitting in a room full of interesting people from different cultures and realizing you have so much to contribute, yet you are invisible because you cannot bridge the gap between your thoughts and your tongue. If you don't conquer this fear now, you are essentially signing a contract to stay a smaller version of yourself forever. You will watch from the sidelines as others, perhaps people with less talent but more courage, take the seats at the table that should have been yours. You will see them traveling the world with ease, forming deep international friendships, and leading global projects, while you remain locked behind a glass wall, looking out at a life you were meant to live but were too afraid to claim.
That is a dark path, Anna, and I have seen too many people walk it until they reach a point of regret that is hard to fix. Think about the physical weight of that regret. Every time you have to say, "I don't understand," or "Can you speak slowly?" a little piece of your confidence dies. You start to believe the lie that you aren't a language person, or that you are too old or not smart enough. That is the poison of inaction. It robs you of your pride. It makes you feel like a guest in a world where you should be a host. If you continue to let your English stagnate, the world will continue to shrink. The opportunities will get fewer, the connections will get shallower, and the version of you that could have inspired thousands will simply never exist. You will be a prisoner of your own silence, and that is a tragedy I don't want for anyone listening to this.
But now, let's flip the script. Let's breathe in the air of a different reality. The reality where you decide right here and now that enough is enough. Imagine the sheer, electrifying joy of waking up and knowing that the world is truly your oyster. Picture yourself walking through an international terminal, not with anxiety in your chest, but with a sense of belonging. You hear the mix of languages around you and you smile because you know you can navigate any of it. Imagine the first time you make a joke in English and a group of people from 3 different continents burst out laughing. In that moment, you aren't a learner anymore. You are a connector. You are a bridge builder. You feel a surge of dopamine and pride that no textbook could ever give you.
I can feel that energy just talking about it. Think about your career. Imagine walking into that meeting we mentioned earlier. But this time, when the room goes quiet and all eyes turn to you, you don't look down at your notes. You look them in the eye. Your voice is steady. Your sentences are simple, clear, and powerful. You watch the nods of agreement from your colleagues. You see your manager's eyes light up with respect. Suddenly, you aren't just an employee. You are a leader. You are an asset. That confidence doesn't stay in the meeting room. It follows you home. It changes how you talk to your family, how you carry yourself in the street, and how you dream about your future.
And it's not just about money or status, it's about the soul-deep satisfaction of human connection. Imagine having a best friend who lives 6,000 miles away, someone whose culture is completely different from yours, yet you share your deepest secrets and highest hopes in English. You realize that despite our differences, we all want the same things: love, success, and to be understood. English gives you the key to the human experience on a global scale. It allows you to read the original words of great thinkers, to watch the world's most beautiful stories without the filter of translation, and to contribute your unique perspective to the global conversation.
This is the joy, the pure pleasure of fluency.
It is the feeling of freedom. It is the feeling of power. It is the realization that you are no longer limited by the borders of the country you were born in. You are a citizen of the world. Every door that was once locked is now standing wide open, waiting for you to walk through. The question isn't whether you can do it. We already know you can. The only question that remains is, are you ready to stop being the person who watches and start being the person who acts?
The life you want is waiting for you just on the other side of your fear. It is built on the foundation of those 10-minute habits, those messy mistakes, and that unshakable why. You have tasted the pain of silence, and you have glimpsed the glory of your global voice. Now it is time to make the choice that changes everything.
Now that you have felt the weight of the silence you are leaving behind and the brilliance of the future that awaits you, it is time to ground that emotion into a single, decisive act of commitment.
Transformation does not happen by accident, and it certainly does not happen alone. To cross the bridge from who you are today to the global citizen we have been dreaming about, you need a tribe, a roadmap, and a constant source of inspiration. This is why we are inviting you right now to join our inner circle here at English with EduWorld. By hitting that subscribe button and turning on the notification bell, you are not just following a channel, you are making a sacred promise to yourself that you will not let your dreams die in silence. You are claiming your seat at our global table where we turn struggle into mastery every single week.
But don't stop there. True growth requires movement. I want you to take the fire you feel in your chest right now and share it. Think of one person in your life, a friend, a colleague, or a sibling who is also struggling to find their voice. Send them this episode. Be the spark that helps them realize they aren't alone in their fear. When you share this journey, you strengthen your own resolve. And if you are ready to truly step into the light, head over to our community tab or click the link in our description to join our speaking challenge. This is where the English fitness we talked about becomes a daily reality.
Your voice is your greatest asset, but it only grows when you use it. Do not walk away from this moment and go back to your old habits. Subscribe, share, and join us. Let this be the day you stopped wishing for a better life and started building one, word by word, with the English with EduWorld family right by your side.
As we reach the end of this journey today, remember that the silence of that room we imagined is now filled with the sound of your own potential. And the key to keeping that door open is simply to never stop turning it.
We have covered so much today, from the deep-seated fears that keep us small to the simple, daily rituals that make us giants. We talked about how your why is the fuel, and how consistent English fitness is the vehicle that will carry you toward your dreams. But more than anything, we hope you realize that fluency is not a destination you reach and then stop. It is a way of living. It is a commitment to being a little more curious, a little more brave, and a little more connected to the world around you than you were yesterday. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You just need to keep showing up, even on the days when you feel tired, even on the days when the words feel heavy.
Every time you choose to listen to a podcast, every time you speak to yourself in the mirror, and every time you embrace a mistake as a lesson, you are winning. You are no longer that person who stays silent in the meeting or hides at the airport. You are becoming a person of influence, a person of connection, and a person who truly belongs in the global conversation. The journey ahead of you is long, but it is beautiful, and you have everything you need within you to finish it. We are so incredibly proud of the steps you have taken just by staying here with us until the very end.
The deepest lesson we can take from our time together is this: language is not a barrier. It is a bridge, and you are the architect. To apply this right now, stop waiting for a special occasion to use your English. Start today by narrating your life in your head, by changing your environment, and by speaking your truth, even if your voice shakes.
The world is waiting to hear what you have to say, so don't keep it waiting any longer.
Before you go, we would love to hear your perspective to help others in this community grow. It's a simple question. Between traveling, career success, or making new friends, which one is the biggest motivation for you to master English right now?
Please leave your answer in the comments below. Reading your stories and goals helps all of us stay inspired and realize we are not alone. And if this episode touched your heart or gave you the spark you needed, please subscribe to English with EduWorld. Your support is what gives us the motivation to keep creating these deep, meaningful lessons to help you conquer your world.
Keep going, keep practicing, and never forget your why. Take care, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.